Good morning. It's time for Precision Talk. I'm Marketing Manager Frank Olmstead with HTS Ag, and joining us, President Adam Giddens. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning. How are you, Frank?
I'm doing very well, and you?
I got nothing to complain about. We've gotten a little bit of rain this week. Harvest is moving along well. I think guys are kind of over the hump. A lot of guys have finished soybeans now, and we've got a lot of guys that have shifted over to corn and really getting some acres covered. The rain's been a little bit of a setback, but I think some guys maybe needed a little rest too. So it's not always bad.
No, absolutely. And I was thinking earlier today that there's never really an off season for farmers. You're either doing field work, planning for the next cycle of field work, planning for next year, break fix, managing your inventory in the bins. I mean, there's always something going on for farmers, and there's never really a downtime. And I thought, HTS Ag does a really good job of helping you in the now and then also planning for the future. So I kind of wanted to pick your brain on how we can do those things.
Well, Frank, you hit the nail on the head. We talked about the rain slowing guys down a little bit. That slowed down the infield field work. But all of us have this laundry list of things that we want to get done that we just simply can't take the time to do in the middle of harvest. Whether it's fixing a bearing on an auger that maybe isn't sounding quite as good as it should, or just some extra maintenance on some of the machinery even, that extra little bit, even on the rain days when, we called it a down day or to get some rest, but it's rest from a 12 or 14-hour day of being in the field running as hard as you can. It's not rest from work completely. And we feel that same way at HTS Ag. We're here to support you. You're out in the field running. We offer the extended hours of support. If you don't have a service plan with us, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about how that works out. But we offer support to our customers from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 6 days a week, and from noon to 6 on Sundays even. So while you're in the field and getting everything done, we want to be there to help you and make sure that your technology is working as good as it possibly can. It's those down days, though, when you're trying to think about what's next and looking farther forward, that we can use all of the data we've compiled from years of side-by-side trials and years of research on our own part, using it on our own farms. We've taken that technology and we've been able to extract the ROI. We've been able to figure out, how is this really beneficial to the farmer? Because we ourselves are farmers. Many of us on the team here, in addition to working for HTS Ag, we also farm. And so that, I think, is really one of the things that helps set us apart. We can tell you about what things, while you're out in the combine, you maybe saw things that your planter did or didn't do that you wish it did. We've got ways to help correct and fix those types of things. Or maybe, a really popular phone call I've had today from multiple different people. Well, I've got those cables in my bins and I'm able to read the moisture and temperature. What would it take to add the automation so that I have fan control on those bins instead of just being able to monitor them? And that's actually a low cost upgrade. So some great conversations happening. You guys have had that little bit of time to catch your breath, and we really enjoy being there as a partner to support you through all that.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that guys are going through the field picking their crop and then they get to see how their planter performed. It's almost a terrible thing for you to have to go through an entire crop cycle to figure out how your planter is performing. And Ag Leader, the little bars and graphs and counters and everything, it kind of tells you how you're doing right then and there.
It sure does, Frank. And the yield monitor is the ultimate report card. It gives us the ability to see exactly how all of our decisions throughout the year played out. And the reality is we can do everything perfectly and still not always have things work out the way we want, because it oftentimes ends up being up to Mother Nature. If we end up with a drought or too much rain and flood out, or some high winds and things start to tumble over, we can't really correct for that. But there's an awful lot of other things that we can account for. If we had hard planting conditions, and that was a common thing this spring, some guys were not getting or achieving that depth that they were desiring across the whole field. And so the stand suffers. And because of that, you don't see that really. Even if you think the planter that you have is doing good, if you don't have the automated downforce on it, you don't know until you get out there to harvest and you start to see the yield loss, because We've got some spindly stalks that maybe didn't get rooted down quite as well. The row unit was riding up out of the ground, whatever the case may be. We've got solutions for that. We want to be able to make 2026 the most profitable year for you that you've ever had.
Absolutely. So if you see anything going on while you're harvesting and you're like, well, that ain't right, I have a whole patch where there should be plants and there's none here. It comes down to singulation or low yields, as Adam said. If you see those issues, one phone call and listing out your issues or what your goals are for 2026, we've got a solution for you. And the data, as Adam mentioned, from our own employees' farms on how these things can perform for years.
Well, and Frank, the downforce is one example that we can talk through, but maybe it's a weed control issue, and maybe we can work on that sprayer. Maybe it's a drainage issue, and we could talk to you about the IntelliSlope tile management tool to be able to install some drain tile. Maybe you don't have that yield monitor yet, and you really want one because you're not sure what is actually happening out in the field. We've got that solution as well. Or if you're just simply tired of hanging onto that steering wheel, you want to take some of the stress off of those long days, even with the grain cart, with CartAce, we've got some really low cost and simple solutions that we can implement very quickly and be able to take some stress off of the grain cart operator or the combine operator or both.
Yeah, because if you get me in your grain cart, you're going to be just as nervous as I am. So having a CartAce is going to be a pretty fair unlock when it comes to your steering solutions as well. So, and then big news, Adam, I wanted to mention that Ag Leader has extended their 199 financing for 3 years on new Ag Leader equipment. So that really makes the decision to upgrade for 2026 that much sweeter.
It sure does. So we can get that product ordered and in here and installed while we have time, and we're not racing to get it done at the last minute before the equipment needs to go to the field in the spring. We get it here, we get it installed, and you make one down payment now, and you've got 199 financing and make 2 more payments in the subsequent years. And right now, a lot of guys are moving grain to the elevator, so cash maybe isn't quite as tight as it is in other times of the year. This is sometimes a good time to have that payment. And we would be happy to help you sort through all of that. And that's something that could turn into a positive cash flow if you're implementing technology that has a positive ROI. So let's say I put XYZ technology on my planter sprayer, whatever it might be. We can help you calculate what the return is going to be from adding that technology. And in many cases, the return every year is significantly more than what the payment would be.
Absolutely. And then that just keeps going on even past 3 years. So really money ahead when it comes to that. So Adam, anything else you wanted to add this morning?
Frank, it's as we started off and brought here, I want to drive that point home. There's no such thing as an off day on the farm. So if you're driving field to field, if you are making a parts run, whatever the case may be, you'd like to learn a little more about it, pick up the phone, give us a call. We would love to talk to you and help you walk through and navigate the best use of technology in every individual farm operation.
Absolutely. You can give us a call at 712-744-4468. Find us on the web at hdsag.com or follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all at HDSAG. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, Frank.